Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Everyday English Bite. Thank you for making us a part of your day, whether you are on your commute, making coffee, or simply relaxing at home. Our goal is to make English learning a natural part of your everyday life. In our next episode, we broke down the basics of artificial intelligence, or AI. We defined AI as machines designed to think and learn. We also covered some essential key terms like algorithm, machine learning, or ML, and LLM, large language model. If you missed that one, I highly recommend going back and listening to it first. It will make today's journey much clearer. Today, we are moving from what AI is to how it all started. To truly understand where we're going, we must trace the path from early visions to the sophisticated creations we use today. Welcome to a deep dive into AI history. The story of AI doesn't begin with a modern computer. It begins as a question: can a machine think? For centuries, philosophers and writers dreamed of artificial beings, but the 20th century turned this dream into a scientific question. The real starting point for modern AI is often traced to the 1940s and 1950s. During this time, a group of brilliant scientists began thinking about the nature of intelligence itself. The most famous figure from this era is Alan Turing, a British mathematician. Key vocabulary check: Turing test, noun. The Turing test is a test of a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior equivalent to or undistinguishable from that of a human. In 1950, Turing proposed a simple question: if a human is communicating with a computer and another human and cannot tell which, is the computer effectively thinking? This idea, the Turing test, set the first major goal for AI. It wasn't about complex equations, it was about mimicking human conversation. Turing believed that within 50 years, computers could be made to play a conversation game so well that humans would have only a 70% chance of making the right identification after 5 minutes of questioning. We are still chasing this goal in many ways. The actual term artificial intelligence wasn't coined until 1956. This happened at a legendary summer workshop at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. A group of scientists, including John McCarthy and Marvin Minsky, gathered to discuss their new field. McCarthy is often credited with naming it artificial intelligence. Key vocabulary check: symbolic AI, noun. Symbolic AI is an early approach to AI that focuses on manipulating symbols and rules to perform tasks. In the years following the Dartmouth Conference, AI research experienced its first major boom. This period, the late 1950s to the early 1970s, was filled with incredible optimism. Scientists believed that a thinking machine was just a few years away. This early era was defined by symbolic AI, often called good old-fashioned AI. The idea was to create human intelligence by programming computers with all the logical rules humans use. They built programs to solve mathematical problems and play games. One famous example was ELIZA, a program created in the 1960s that could simulate a natural conversation, making it one of the first rudimentary chatbots. People were amazed and slightly frightened, but Eliza's conversation was actually very shallow, just reflecting a person's own words back to them. The limitations of symbolic AI soon became clear. By the early 1970s, the initial hype was fading. The early programs could solve simple problems, but they couldn't scale up. They lacked data and computing power. Symbolic AI required millions of lines of rules, and a small error could crash the whole system. The grand promises made in the 1950s hadn't materialized. This led to the first AI winter. Funding from governments and private companies dried up. Research became difficult. The optimism of the first boom was replaced by skepticism. Critics argued that computers would never be truly intelligent. There was a second, shorter AI boom in the 1980s, focused on expert systems, but it also eventually fizzled out, leading to a second, more prolonged AI winter in the late 1980s and early 1990s. The field of AI was out of fashion. The thaw of the last AI winter didn't come from a new theory, it came from hardware. The 1990s and 2000s saw incredible advances in computing power and the exponential growth of the internet. This provided two critical ingredients: faster processing and a massive, diverse pool of data. This is when the second major shift in AI history occurred. The dominant approach changed from telling a computer all the rules, symbolic AI, to teaching a computer to find its own rules by analyzing data. This is machine learning, which we discussed last time. Key vocabulary check. Machine learning. Noun. Machine learning is a subset of AI that focuses on enabling systems to learn from data and improve their performance without being explicitly programmed. This data-driven approach changed everything. Instead of trying to program how a human recognizes a cat, scientists fed computers millions of images labeled cat and not cat and let the algorithms learn the patterns. Simple at first, ML began to power things we now take for granted: email spam filters, Netflix recommendations, and basic natural language processing like spell check. This wasn't the thinking machine from the Turing test, but it was highly practical AI. This brings us to the present era. The most important innovation of the last decade has been deep learning, a specific, powerful type of machine learning. It's modeled after the structure of the human brain, using multi-layered systems called neural networks. Key vocabulary check. Deep learning. Noun. Deep learning is a type of machine learning that uses multi-layered neural networks to analyze and interpret data, often on a massive scale. Key vocabulary check. Neural network. Neural network is a computer system modeled on the human brain and nervous system, designed to recognize patterns and make decisions. In the early 2010s, deep learning models, powered by GPUs, graphic unit processors, originally made for gaming, and massive amounts of data, began achieving human-like and even superhuman results in difficult tasks. They broke records in image recognition, translation, and speech recognition. The breakthrough in 2012 by Geoffrey Hinton's team in image categorization is often seen as the starting point of the current deep learning boom. We also saw the rise of the transformer architecture, which is the foundational technology behind the LLMs and generative AI we use today, like ChatGPT. And that, everyone, is our 10-minute bite of AI history. We traveled from Alan Turing's question to the creation of the powerful AI tools we use today. We learned that AI isn't a new concept, but a century-long story of big dreams, setbacks, the winters, and incredible shifts in approach, from rules to data. Don't forget to practice today's key words: Turing test, symbolic AI, AI winter, machine learning, deep learning, and neural network. If you found this historical journey fascinating, please subscribe to the Everyday English Bite for more simple explanations of complex topics. Keep practicing your English, and I will see you in the next episode for another bite. Take care.